All right, everybody, how you guys all doing out there tonight? Welcome, welcome, one, welcome all. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Uh, yeah, the house, the roof is on fire, right? That's kind of how I feel right now. So listen, man, it's been a very it's been a very yeah. Let's just say it's been one of those days today, okay? And I think I'm just gonna come over here and really start with the chart I have over here. It's our VPVR chart. We're gonna start out with the just taking a look and seeing where we're at, how far, how deep we got. Now we finally got a little bit of bounce, and I just can't even tell you how absolutely insanely oversold we are in some of the time frames, right? Especially the RSI. The RSI is just so deep right now, right? We've had a lot of our ADX charts rolling over and touching. We finally had our weekly ADX chart touching. So our ADX, we've had the bear and the histone line come together on quite a few different exchanges on the weekly. Now that is not the bottom when it does that, but the weekly, excuse me, the weekly did call the weekly ADX chart is what did perfectly call the baby bull Jesus, right? The one we had back in 2014-15. So it did call, and I am looking for that to do a second calling on the second coming of baby bull Jesus. So we're going to dig into that. Now, the good news is things have kind of accelerated with this dump, right? And one of the things I was talking about, and if you come over to this chart, I said, hey, this is kind of a panic candle. This is a panic candle, right? This right here is a pure panic candle, right? Just flat top right here, fell absolutely out of the sky. Nothing, I mean, this did a huge drop, right? I mean, literally another massive just fallout here. And a lot of this capitulation really was coming from over here on the USD exchanges. So you had all of these USD exchanges, right? These are all these USD exchanges right here, and these USD exchanges were just panic dumping, right? You see here's Phoenix, right? These are both on the daily. All three of these are on the daily. So you had Phoenix over here, and Phoenix was just absolutely, did a moderate trace back, right? Not to a new low though, but look, because these guys can short, so these guys are over here shorting. Now Binance, on the other hand, a lot of people, were either jumping into, XRP or there was some, XLM. There was some trades that were actually holding up. They were doing pretty good, right? So these trends they were doing pretty good over here. There's some coins that did a good job holding, and one of the things I said is a lot of the alts are actually holding. Not a lot of them, but some of the alts are actually holding pretty steady while Bitcoin is falling, and some of the alts are even going up or holding pretty strong while Bitcoin was following. XLM and XRP were both on that list. So we're going to go over and take a look at those in a minute. But, I wanted to point out that the USD exchange, the USD regulated exchanges, those people really have no other way than except to just jump out of the market. Right? So, their only option that is available to them is just to dump, right? They can just dump. And we saw a massive dump come out, right? A lot of people were dumping. And one of the things we pointed out earlier is that while the market is dumping, where they at? Come to daddy. There it is. While the market has been dumping, the longs have been climbing through the roof, right? So you take a look at our long trades. Our longs are going through the damn roof. Look at how high this is. We are at a historic high, like broke over on top of this trend line. Look at that. We broke over this trend line right here, this box. This is the danger zone box for longs, and longs have just been shooting through the roof. While shorts just took shorts came up while we dumped. Look at the shorts just took an absolute nosedive there, right? And one of the indicators everybody's probably staring at, they're probably looking over here at this RSI going, it just can't go lower. There's just no way this RSI can go lower, right? And I mean, dude, this thing is going down like a hooker on a Thursday for a cheeseburger. I mean, this is just going down hard, right? So the price just continued to dump out. And there was just, it's unbelievable that the longs were climbing. So look, if I line these longs up, and it's hard, let me try to do this. Let me try to line this up a little bit better. All right, so you just have to look at the two lines, right? So look where these lines were going up. Look, someone got into this over here. People were buying longs over here. Those people are trapped in longs at 62, 63, $6,000. They're trapped in longs at 6,000. I mean, you've got longs that are underwater 1,000 points. Right now, to have a long that's under 1,000 points under, and the longs are still going up. Who are these people? Right? Who are these people who are buying longs at 6K? And then look, they bought, all these people were buying longs. This is totally moving across here at 5,600, right? 56, 5,700. And now we're down here. We're all the way down into the 48. This is USDT, so we were down to 4,800. We did get a little 200 point bounce. Now look at our RSI. Our RSI is absolutely oversold. Even to me, the vamp, like even me, I'm going, okay, enough is enough, right? And to get the vamp to do that, right? To get me to say enough is like enough. Right? I mean, I've already known this was, I've already known that this was coming, and I've already been prepared for this to come. I've already been prepared for this coming, right? I've known that this was headed in the downward direction, and even for me to have to be the one to say, okay, enough is like really enough, right? I mean, it's like really, really enough. I am myself capitulating, right? I myself a little scared, right? Because there's a point that I find that there is just you can't go back, and that's right here, and I'm gonna drop it. I'll drop it on this chart, but me and Wendy were chatting about it, right? And it's this 4,400 line right here. Like, I don't want to get down here into this 4,400 line, because you start to break this line. Yes, you go into this resistance cluster, but you then put yourself right here for the 3 zone, right? You're talking now. All of a sudden, you just changed the conversation, not from 5s, right? We just went into the 4s, but you're talking about the 3s, and I'm not ready to have that conversation. I'm just not. I want to see a little bit of a bounce, right? I think we do have a little bit lower to go, and then we're going to get a nice little bounce, but I'm not ready to see 3,600 right now, right? I don't want to see that. Look, here's your blue lines. These things have been down here. They've been sitting here for quite a while. I'm not ready for this. I don't think I'm not mentally prepared for this, but I'm not emotionally prepared for this either, because I'm just not ready to go here, okay? I want to see a bounce. I think we're ready for a little bit of a bounce. We're really, really close. The issue is we're just not getting any commitment right now from the shorts. And look, longs are picking up, right? You see these longs that are picking up right here, and there's just, there's people are just, there's just, I've been telling everybody, scalp longs is okay, right? But you need to trade the trend and scalp the bounce, okay? And if anybody tells you that the trend is bullish, or if this is bullish at all, please immediately give them an unfollow. Unfollow them instantly. Just click the unfollow button on Twitter, because that is not the person you want to have a conversation with on Twitter, because this is not a bullish drop, right? This is a very bearish drop. This is a bearish daily candle we just put in. The longs are actually stretched out really high, and there's liquidity in these longs. These longs can all get soaked up really easy. There's all this money that's just stacked right here. Where is the breaking point for all this free money? Look, there's no money in the shorts. The shorts are way down, right? The shorts RSI is low. The shorts themselves are low. There's very little liquidity because people took profits, right? As the price was dumping, people were taking profits on their shorts. They were just afraid to keep shorting, because they didn't really believe it could keep going down here, because they thought that it had to stop, right? This just had to stop. But we got a little bit of a panic sell off there, and now we're down into this lower end through the void, right? We came right down there through this void area, which we'll show you on one of the other charts. But this to me is very scary, and I'm not liking this, right? I'm not liking this super high RSI. I'm not liking this here. And just like we were down at the bottom over here, and I was saying, what happened to all the damn shorts, right? What the hell happened why are there no shorts when we're about to fall out? And then, sure enough, we fell out and then the shorts went through the roof, right? But we all have known that. So let's be careful. Let's watch this. Now, I would call this, the longs are in a danger zone for a long squeeze, right? One more dump down, just one more fall off here. Even if we head back down to 40, my lower target is 4,500. I still think 45 to 4,700 is still a reasonable place for another bounce. It gets you down into this little area right here, which we'll take a look at on some of the other charts. All right, let's go back. So we're just going to kind of backpedal on this. One thing I want to do, actually, we're going to start over here. So we're going to start with our charts. So this is, what do we got here? We got Coinbase. So we do have USD, right? We found the top. We fell out. We expected to get a bounce higher up here. Never happened, right? I said I was looking for a bounce in here, and it just never happened. Just kept falling down. And, my overall targets that I've been looking at for quite a while have been 48, 4,200. Now we've gotten really low, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on a couple things, all right? So I'm going to get rid of this because this didn't happen, right? That failed. Yep, failed. My stop loss is still here, okay? I'm going to bring this down. If we get a bounce, I think it'll only come up to here. And then we're going to get one more trigger down. All right, and I still think this is kind of the area we're going to come into here. Right, and so I'm going to move this. This is now resistance area. Right, I'm going to slide this down. There's your trend line. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to leave that there, but I am going to scoot this down to right in there, okay? So you got trend line resistance, and then this is your top line resistance. So right now, kind of what I'm looking at is I would see one more up, one more test down, and these are the two critical areas right here, right? I'm going to slide this up a little bit. I want to slide this up. So if you go all the way across, let's back this up to the 3-day. Right, so you can see where my lowest target is, 4,200, right? Right, and then here's where I've been saying this ish needs to hold on the first test, right? This right here has to hold this area. This is a void. You see this big void here, right? Look at the void, right? And then if you get up in here, you'll see that 4,400 is the bottom of the void. And that's where you start to get into all these wicks right here. And we're going to pull this up to a weekly. Okay. So there's our weekly. There's our weekly test right there. Look, there it is. There's the top of that. Support, 4,600. You got a little support, a little bit lower, 4,607. It's surreal that I'm talking about this right now, actually. Okay, and then I have to say this is where it really gets super fugly down here, right? So once you get down and you break this area, see, look, you come back in. See, look at the confluence that you had right here. You came into the red area and you have this confluence right here, right? There's the confluence. You came down, you're right in this area of all of these wicks. And you got a nice bounce out of there, right? Man, 46.70. Man, that is in my bounce area for USDT too. I'm telling you, that is in my bounce area. So if you go over, where are low targets? I know I tagged them. Where are they? There you go. So here is, this is, listen, we blew through both these trend lines. There our monthly 46, our monthly moving average 46.77, right? Boom, look at that. Look at this, right on the moving average, right? So we just totally pegged that 128. So the 128 actually held. Unbelievable. Right, that's the weekly, sorry. Weekly 128 held. But this is also the 30, I think, on the monthly. Let me pull this up to the monthly. Yep, there it is. There's the 30. Okay, and there's 40. Look, there's the monthly. Came right down into the monthly, and bam, just got stopped. Look at the confluence on the monthly right there. On the low side, there you go. Look, 30, 43, 32. Right? And you break this 43.32 and you go back into a second void here. Look at the void. This is all a void right here. All right, so let's undo this. It's a freaking mess. We're gonna have to, let me peel this off here. So monthly, so the monthly 30 MA is so close below, right? Let's find out where this baby is. So I mean, I would call that a touch, right? I mean, it missed it by just a couple points, right? Look at the open and close. Confluence. So look at the open and close confluence that you have right here. Came down right into it and bounced out of it. Now, last time when this headed up and it hit, look at this huge wick. So this came all the way up here, and the next month it rolled all the way over and then snapped all the way back up. Look at this thing. This thing ran from 3K all the way to 5K. Wow. What a swing. That is insane. And it made a bearish candle on top of that, because I would have been like, oh, I'm shorting the bejesus out of this thing, right? Because this hanging man candle, I would have been looking to short this thing out, would have been telling everybody how amazing I am, and I would have got my patootie just wrecked right here. I would have just got absolutely destroyed. Even the volume, I would have said, flat volume, it would have been really hard to play this. That would have been super beastly. So, listen, the monthly, we just pegged up a brand new candle. And the monthly volume, we're about to get a higher monthly volume candle for this month. So look at the volume. The volume bar going higher this month for sure, right? All right, and there's your bearish. So you are getting a bearish, okay? Also, so you have a bear death cross on the 7 MA, 100 MA monthly. Right, so this will cross bearish, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is going to cross bearish right there, right? Oh, that looks like my 7. That's my 20. So it's my 7 and my 20. Still going to cross bearish. There's the weekly. All right, and what do we got here? It's the 128-day held. 46.13. So trapped by that moving average, just caught it. Didn't come down and hit the confluence on the weekly. And yep, all right. A lot of confluence in here, okay? All right, and let's go. Just start to peel us back. Sorry, I apologize. I just want to make sure I dig into this on these higher time frames for everybody. Now, we did just put up a brand new candle too. Was it the 2-day? Couldn't have been the 2-day. Nope, was not 2-day. Just put up that new daily candle. Daily candle is a bleeding 9, so we do have a bleeding 9. Okay, now here's the thing. This bleeding 9, daily is a bleeding 9. All right, so this 9 does not now have to cross up over this to reset. It doesn't have to do that. It can just go 1 to 4 candles up. It can flip into a green 1, and then it can just fall out and go green 1, 2, 3, and then just die out one more time. To one more level of capitulation, and I really don't think we have much farther to fall. God, we are just so at the bottom here. It's just crazy. I mean, we're so deep. So deep. 12-hour, bearish, a little bit of volume there. Let's go down to the 4-hour. All that bull volume finally fell out. This would have been a great look at that spinning top at the bottom there. So you had that spinning top on the 4-hour. This is a good call. Spinning top reversal candle on the 4-hour. All right. And look, this is not oversold. You're at a red 7. You're at a red 5. You're at a red 3. You're at a red 6. The only one oversold is this daily right here, right? So the daily is the only one that's got a flip. And I could see maybe one more dip down, then this thing would flip. So I'd be looking for this puppy to flip right here. All right, let's go back up. All right, so kind of targets moved. All right, and came in, and 48 to 4,200 came close. Look, we hit this trend line right here. So you did have a little bit, yeah. Not really. What timeline was that on? Daily? Yeah, there you go. Kind of the daily right there, maybe. No, not really. Where did I have that? 6-hour? Nope, definitely not. Where the hell? How the hell did I get that damn candle? That had to be it right there. There we go. All right, so that was based on the 4-hour right there. That little trend line is the 4-hour trend line. Still looking for a little more downside, guys and girls. Just looking for a little more downside. And then I want to pull this baby out of here, right? Slide this over here. So from here, I think we can bounce down. And then we can make the choice if we can run all the way up here. Oh, let me clone this bad boy. Okay, I'm going to pull that off. Adjust this in here. Oops, did I put a 6? 40. What did I say? 44. 44.50 to 43.50. Okay, there we go. Right. All right, and let's cruise on over here. So there we got our USD done. USDT. Oh, sorry. Let me go back one more time. I just want to show everybody one thing. Okay, so 3-day, actually weekly. All right, so listen, I've got these trend lines right here, right? So what I did is I took my weekly, I ran this trend line all the way up right there, right? And then I took this trend line and I ran this one all the way up, and I held this one on the wicks. So I did one on the wicks and then I did one on the candle closes, and they come all the way up here, right? And this is what I've got. So that's what these two lines are right here. Right, these two trend lines right here. These are my deep trend lines. That got blown out. There's this trend line right here. All right, hold on a second. Okay. One. So this is deep trend line 1 of the bodies, right? And then this one right here is deep trend line 2 of the wicks. Okay, there's that. Sorry, people, trying to go as fast as I can. All right, let's pull this up to the weekly. I did the same thing. So there you go. So I did this one, just closing bodies. So there you go. Bing, bing, bing. Just ran that thing all the way up to closing bodies right there. All the way back deep. And there you have it. You see this is our weekly. So you see where our support is. So we got came into this wick, got the little bounce, but we still got a little way to go to come down. Now you got this trend line right here, which I'm going to drop. The weekly, it's a little high. There you go. So there's that trend line here, and I still think we're going to come down right into this and scoop, right? So right into this area, and this is going to get tested. You got this trend line and this trend line. That's why I think you just got a little bit more to go, right? Just a little bit more to come into here. Okay. So you got both these damn trend lines right here. Right, where is that? So that range is, so that's pretty much 46, 40, 45, 40, let's call it 46, 47.50, right? 4,600, 47.50 USDT. Oh. All right, and now let's jump into our ADX. Okay, so here's our ADX chart. Listen, we have come down and tapped a second time into the bounce zone. This is on MEX, right? So we've said, listen, we're close. We can see a double bottom. This is good news. Okay, so let's be a little bit more specific on this, okay? So we tested, we retraced. Man, if we bounce off right here, I would be looking for something like this to happen, right? I would be looking for something like this to possibly happen. Double tap, up, down. Look, double tap, up, down, right? Double tap, up, down. So if this holds here, I'll be looking for a double tap up and then down and then down, V bottom, down again, and then up, right? Okay, and then I want to take a look. I want to show you guys all the weekly. So here's our weekly. Now take a look at our weekly. We're going to clear everything off. So our weekly ADX has crossed. So listen, here's what happens. When this crosses, right, you get capitulation, right? I mean, it dies, right? That's what that means. Oh, come on, get out of there. Right? When this thing hit, oh, come on. Seriously? That's the weirdest thing ever. Okay, so look, when you get the blue and the histogram line, so the orange and the pink, I'm sorry, the green and the pink is the histo, the blue is the bear. So listen, when these things come together, you always get one more fallout, especially on the weekly, right? Just came together. Okay, they just came together right here, right? There they are together. One more fall, and then you got a nice bounce up, right? So like, but here's the thing. This also called Baby Bull Jesus right here, right? So MEX, ADX, weekly, right? So the MEX, so you've got, come on, you've got the bear and histo. They crossed over, right? Now this is good. This is really good. And I'm going to show you why this is so good in another chart, right? I'm going to show you exactly why this is so good in another chart. And hold on a second. And all right, and then the daily. All right, daily tech testing a second time right there. We'll bring this back. I want to bring this over to daily. There you go. Okay. All right, same old, still a little way to go. Perfectly down, and Tether is a nightmare. Look at the big, huge fallout on Tether. We're back all the way down to 95. Somebody was dumping USDT out like crazy. Let's look at our supports. So if you look at the support, it came across like open and close, and you came down and you opened and closed at the same exact place. So on your USDT, right? All right, USDT. So for USDT, we hit support from, what was that, September and October 2017, right? So we hit this support, so you can see that the support played right up there, bounced off the support right there, right? Trend line and historical support. So came down. There's the trend line. Now it snapped this trend line. So this trend line goes all the way up. I want to see if I can make this trend line also line up on the weekly. It is lined up. Okay, that's not what. Okay, so I was hoping I could adjust it a little bit. Here's the daily. So the daily, look, we came down, we bounced, we hit the trend line, bounced a little bit below, hit the historical line. You really had a double level of support right there, right? But here's the thing. You don't really march into your support line until you hit this, right? Look at this big volume bar, this VPVR bar. This is why I think we have one more little baby tap down, And then, like I said, we've talked about where you don't want to break, right? So once you get down here, right, 64, so once you get down here, you have a lot of support right here, right? But that puts you on the bottom side of this trend lines, right? So once you get under this trend line, this is where this gets really, really complicated, because you flip this trend line to resistance, you flip this trend line to resistance, now you're trapped under this, banging on the top of this thing, right? This is the first time we've tested this one. Look, we ripped this one, just shredded it. Look, hit it, and ripped through it, retested it, bounced down, hit this trend line that was already tested once, twice, tested it a third time, came down, ripped it back up. Let's see if this will hold. Look, last time it tested this trend line, nice, bounces off. So you got a trend line this direction and this one, and both of these held. All right, now you've come down lower, and you could, we could look to see it tested this trend line. We're not seeing a lot of volume to pull us out of this trend line. That's the issue, and that's why I think we just have one more test lower, is to get us down into this lower area, right? You don't want to break this. Breaking this is uber bad, right? We don't want to break this because, you can quickly get down underneath this, and we don't want to turn these trend lines into support here, okay? Don't want to turn these trend lines into support. And then once you get below this area of confluence right here, right, then you start into a whole nother void, all right? And I really don't even want to go there, so we're going to take this, clone, then this area becomes the second void, right? So that becomes your second void right there, and you can see the price action, kind of how the price action fell out, and you can even raise that all the way up to there, right? But you see the void right here in the price, right? So there's your second void right here. This is why we don't want to really get under this. Oh, come on. Right. That baby is 35.80 to 29.50. Right. So there's that void. And we want to use this as our springboard, right? This is why I keep saying 4,200 is my springboard. And this is why, because look at all this right here. See this? This is exactly why Vamp says, this is why I think, right? I think this is where we're going to get a nice bounce out of right here. That's why I've said, my target all along has been 4,200 to 4,800, because I feel that this right here, right, this is your support, VPVR, right, and you're sitting right there at 4,400, bottom side 4,160. Okay, so this is where your support is stacked right here. You have a lot of buying power. You have a lot of confluence over here. So this is where our support, right? And then you have one candle support right there. There's just that one bar. Okay, this is why I don't want to break 44, because as soon as you break 44 down here, you really throw yourself into this support, and we want to bounce off of this. We want to come down, bounce off the top of this, and then get our this, right? Because we want this to act like a trampoline. All this right here, we want this to boing, 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 and then either go up or go boing, boing, and then dump through it. But we want to hold this at least once, if not twice, and that's our goal. So the goal, the bulls need to hold this level. Bears will most likely test it 2 to 3 times. Right, and what we could see is, like I said, you come down, you bounce up, you come down, you rip through the trend lines, you bounce up, you bounce down, you bounce up, and then you bounce through it, or you go bounce, bounce, and then ETFs get announced then, and the magic happens, right? Right, so this is really my heavy duty must hold. Right, and I've called this out, right? So the vamps always must hold. Targets are 4,800 to 4,200. And that actually should be 4,160. Okay? Like, this is it. Do or die. Okay. All right, and there we go. So the good thing about the void is, look, there's no resistance going back up, right? There's no resistance. This thing could just go all the way up. But look at this. I mean, you're looking to come all the way back up here at 5,500, and then test and then break down. And that's, totally what I would like to see. Just one more breakdown into this area right here. I mean, we're so close, right? Just come down here, get into here. Let's test these. Let's bounce, and then maybe bounce one more time, and then get a nice bounce out. That's right. We just need some volume. We need an event, right? We need an actual event. And so that was USD. USDT is just a little more painful than that. USDT over here, on the other hand, has got another void, right? So here's USDT. So here's another void. Okay, so USDT, the void goes to 4448. What is that? 4448. 48-ish. And then the top of the void is, I mean, we're at it, right? And look, you just squished right on this little, right? You got all this little confluence right here. You're in the last little support area, and this thing could just get so vicious. is different. All right. So look on over here, we have not touched anything, right? We just have not touched anything. We've got no love right here. We're just not, we haven't touched a trend line. We have touched this little support that goes back here, this historical support, but all we did was come down into this. And right, so there our void is run all the way down. So look, our void ran all the way down. We came through to the bottom of our void and just tested it. Now we knew we'd hit this area. I'm going to remove this box. Okay, so we had a 70% chance to hit that area. And I'm going to remove, actually I'm going to put that back because that's going to work as resistance right now. And I'm going to change the color of this thing. All right, top side resistance. So now all these trend lines have been flipped to resistance right now. And this is looking like this right here. It's exactly what this is looking like, right? And possibly see this. Okay, let me record this. Oops. Lock this in place. So was that 40? I'm just going to call that 44. Let's call it 4150 to 44. Yeah, this is the void. So the void's right here. You get down in here to the void, and you're only going to be saved by the trend line, right? So there's your trend line supports. Nothing. All right, so bubble charts still running. MACD bubble chart. Going deep. Okay, so let me just for 1 second, I just want to explain one thing to you guys, okay? So listen, when you go too far down, okay, or you go too far up, it then makes it the opposite of what it is, okay? So do you understand that? Does everybody get that, right? So when you go too high, it goes bullish. When you go too low, it goes bearish. Okay? Right? Because, okay, so let's say, here's the thing. When you go super low, right, you'd think, oh my God, that's it, it's oversold, right? No, because you went over super low, you actually broke the trend. This likes to stay at zero. All your indicators want to stay at flat zero, okay? They don't want to go higher. They don't want to go lower. They want to stay in the middle, okay? So the issue is when you go oversold like this, you're like, oh my God, it's going to fall out of the sky. That's the opposite. Look at this. This thing went so high. Look at, you put this up here. Look at, you see this? See the line? All these, right? This, you think, oh my God, this is going to fall out. Look, but look, went up, right? You got all the way to the tippy top, but this thing went up, right? Got to the tippy top right here, but it went up. Got to the tippy top here, went up. Got to the tippy top here, went up. Being too high is not bearish on indicators, right? It's the exactly. You in the middle. I always tell everybody, don't be afraid of the top or the bottom. Be afraid of the middle. The middle's where you don't want to fall. Look where we fell from. Look at, boom. Look where the tippy top fell from. This is 19K. It fell from right here. It fell from the middle, the core, right? Look at this big fall. Look at the big fall there, the core. Look at the big fall here, the core, right? Look at this. You're way up here. Nope, down. Only kidding. Came back up. Broke a new high, right? When you go too high, it's bullish. When you're down low, it's bearish. Look where this whole trend did. It started right here, right down here in the middle. Right? Be afraid in the middle. Now, when you get this low, it doesn't say, oh, yes, the bull run is coming. It says the exact opposite, right? It says the exact opposite because look at here. You're like, oh, bull run, yay, right? No, just died out, right? This is completely tanked out. This is not a bull run. This is a continuation of a bear run. All this was is a recycling of the indicators, a resetting so it could fall, continue to fall further. Just like this, right? You came down, you set here. All this looks in. Going up, this thing went up. And then it finally fell here. This whole move up from here to here was up. And the dump was massive, right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we're right here, right now? What's going to happen when we go up? Right? When we go up like this, up, down, like this, where is this going to take us right now? We're into bearish territory, right? We're super, super, super bearish. And yes, the RSI is fucking insane. It's absolutely insane, but I just want to point that out to you real quick, okay? That's not going to help. All right, listen, came down, double tap. Look at my arrows right here, right? I said, hey, I knew we were going to get the double tap on this. Bubble charts. So look at this. Double tap the low and bounced. Okay, now let me go through this one more time, okay? Just because, and I'm going to blank all this out so you guys can see this, right? Just because you're at the bottom, it doesn't mean that this thing is going to fully turn around. Looks like you were at the bottom here. You had one more fall, right? You had here was your bottom of your RSI, but look, you had one more fall down. And this is a pretty substantial fall, right? This was 6,900 to 5,700. That was 1,000-point fall right there. 1,000-point fall going up and dipping here. Okay, same thing. You know, here we were sold here. Same thing. We just looked at on the MACD. This is not bullish. This was bearish. This was just a bounce. Right, just a continuation of a bearish pattern to go even deeper. Okay, so now look here, sold here, oversold here, deep, come up, out. Right now, here's what I do like to see. I do like to see on a more bullish, right? I want to see a higher and then a lower. See this pattern, how it works out? A higher and then a lower, and then you're good, right? Look, a higher, then a lower, and then you're kind of really close to the bottom. Look, higher, lower, and then you're out. Now we didn't do that. We did the opposite. We did a lower and then a higher. Okay, so we did a lower and then a higher. So let's look for a lower. So look, here was a lower, there was a higher, and this continued deeper, right? So you want to look for that pattern, right? So you want to look for a lower first and then a higher, and this is the only one I can see right off the bat. All the rest, nope, here's one right here, lower, higher, and then just came around and bounced down one more time, bearish, bounced. Now this didn't break, but then this was the short squeeze. So if everybody remembers, this is our short squeeze. I was seriously like, this is going to 5K right here. And then we had the massive short squeeze that shot us to the moon. That was April. You guys can all go back and back check that if you want. But so we just did the opposite of what we wanted to do there. All right, so an up is not really an up right here, right? An up can still be a down, okay? Got that? Did that make any sense? It probably didn't. So I tried. All right. Oh, how do you not have sound? Everybody should have sound. All right, ADX chart up and down. Called that 12-hour. Here's the drop. Now we're down. Look at this. We're all the way back down here on the daily. This is Phoenix. Okay, so this is good. This is really good. And I should move this whole thing up right here. Okay, so this is really good. So we knew, look, we're looking for that double bottom here. And we're almost down into the bounce point. So this is really good. So ADX chart. So the ADX on USDT. Looking good for the double bottom. Okay. All right, so there it is. There was that, and we're looking to break this. We're so close to penetrating this lower line, the white line, and that then will give us our call for our bounce, right? This is what we're finally looking for. We're going to pull this over here. Same chart, okay, because I use one for the count also. Right. Oh, there's my count also right there. So here's my count. So there's my count right there, and it just blew out my count, right? I mean, that was pretty good right there. I want to say that's not, yeah, that's like totally blown out. Huh. Is there a trend line I don't have on there? I have to go back and look at that. All right, here's the USDT version. I'm sorry, USD. So the USD version, once again, there you are. You're so close. There's your squeeze. There's a squeeze we talked about in April. This is the this is another bounce off there. So you know, here we are. We're right here. We're looking at a double bottom, and this is what we want to see. We want to see this double bottom to find us here, right? This is USD ADX looking good. Okay. Right, and yeah, looking dumpy. It's okay. So getting close. So look, we're in the bearish bounce area, right? We're in the area for a bottom, okay? So bottom area. Okay, so we're in the bottom area. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this here. I'm going to run this up to the weekly, and it has not touched. Okay. Nope. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now take a look here. All right, so this was the very bottom of the ADX, and I do have this. Where is this chart? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to take this. So ADX USD has not crossed, right? So we have not broken bearish, right? Weekly USD stamp has not crossed bearish. Okay, I'm going to take this back to the daily. I'm going to put this back there. And then here's what I'm going to do is the next chart. Okay, so this is what we're trying to pitch to you to try to sell everybody. Okay, so this is Baby Bull Jesus. Here's the weekly. Look where the histogram, look where we're at right here. See where the line is? Right, this is the weekly. This line needs to get all the way down here. This is where Baby Bull Jesus was found. This is where your bottom is. Right, look, Baby Bull Jesus. That was it. This is the low. Baby Bull Jesus was found right here. Look where the ADX chart went, okay? ADX chart crossed, came down, bounced up, right? And then we found Baby Bull Jesus. We got a long way to go to find Baby Bull Jesus. I'm going to change this line to white. So Baby Bull Jesus is hiding down here somewhere. And this is where we're looking for him. Like double tapped, came up, then did one more drop down. Listen, we're not even close on the weekly. The weekly has not found Baby Bull Jesus. Okay, we're looking for the second coming. And then this is where I'm at. I'm still saying Baby Bull Jesus is over here somewhere. Okay, Baby Bull Jesus is in the first quarter, 2019. Still not close. On the weekly. Michael, hush your mouth, young man. Yeesh. Yeah, I try not to. I don't want to say that. So yeesh. Let's not go there yet. Let's take baby steps. All right, Michael? Let's take baby steps, buddy. Yeah, historic low. We just racked up a historic low. There's Baby Bull Jesus. Baby Bull Jesus was found here. Now we have tested this a few times. So, that's where Baby Bull Jesus was. That's where he was found. So other than that, we're doing okay. But man, we are so deep. Look at this thing. Oh, God, it's deep. Boy, that is just, look at how deep this thing is. Just crazy. Right? Let's see what I said. Let's see what I had back here. Yeah. Oh, I was laddering buys to show you how you can crash the market, right? Sell 5,000 BTC, crash to here. Sell 10,000. Just kind of just showing people how it can crash down at levels. Right? That's all I was doing. Okay, so we're at the historic low. Yeah. I have the chart of doom. I have the doom chart. I got in trouble for showing it the other day. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so broke. Okay, so now here's very important. We talked about this yesterday. Every time the bull HV chart, you can see where it breaks bullish or bearish, right? So you just go back. Every time you break this green line right here, the top green line, this is a bearish or bullish movement, right? So now we're over the green line right there. We are completely bearish, right? And when we break over this, when we're over this line, I mean, this is like, look, we haven't done this. Okay, so I'd just like to point this out. Like, we haven't been this high over, well, look, yeah, so we never were on top. Like, we bounced off the line right here. See, this was the line we bounced off it. Let me get rid of this. Don't need that. There's the bearish trend line is right here. Okay, so look, bullish, snap out of there, massive bullish, snap out of there, bearish, snap out of there. So we're all on top. So once again, we're back to being on top of this line. So being on top of this line, we are very, very bearish right now. Right? And it's only, let's see where we go back. See, and then boom. Now you have to start looking at the higher confluence lines up here. I mean, you can start to get really, really high up here, you know. Let's not worry about that right now. We're clearly over it. All right, so we've broken well over it. And there we go, okay? So we've broken over and we're clearly over into the bearish area. HUV. Anything I can do to help everybody out, and we went over our shorts and longs. I'm gonna snap this real quick, right? Longs, squeeze, possible. So careful in longs. Same old same. Look, here's your weekly, your daily, and your weekly. Your daily, just there's your weekly right there. So that is done. Whew. Okay. So all this does is just shows, look, these boxes just show bullish and or bearish. And they show the pattern, green, red, green, yellow, green, red, green, yellow. So they just show this pattern as things had played out, right? So you could go like this, right? And there's your yellow box. Okay, see what I'm saying? See how I did that? And then this was your green box. Right, and where's our green? Let's go green. Let's dump this out. Right, and then you had your red box. Right, and then you had your green box. Got it? See how this works out? Green, red, green, yellow. So green, red, green, yellow. So this is where we're at. You know, how long can this thing stay yellow? Now, back here we just swooped down and smashed, bounced up a little bit, swooped down and smashed again. We're super close to that lower end smashy level thing. So we do got just a little bit of ways to go down here before we find a bottom, but we're real close. You know, same thing. This is why I think we're really close. RSI just got a little bit more legs to go on it. Yeah, we definitely have some. All right, here's our monthly. Let's take a look at our monthly chart. Now we still have room 66.77 for our 30 MA. Down, down, getting close there. Getting super close there. Look at our monthly, right? This is Phoenix. right? This is we just put in a new deep. Now there's a long way to go in this month, right? All right, there's nothing that says that baby can't keep going though, and I gotta say this thing is super ugly, right? And then you got the 30 MA sitting at 640, 677. Okay. Looking good, all right. Okay, so that daily ended. So this is these are both weekly. So there's both these weekly charts. So you got Bitstamp. Oh, they're both Bitstamp. All right. So I thought I had a daily on here. Did I have a daily? Nope, did not. I had that weekly. Okay. Yeah, I mean we just ripped through that lower trend line right there. It's got a long, we got a long way to go though. That's a weekly chart, so this still has a long way to go. And nothing and nothing and Bollinger Bands. This is the weekly, so you can see these BBs are just rolling over and they're running. Right? I mean, these things are just running. They're ever running downwards. There's your top side resistance right there. Right? 60, 53, what is that? 5,300. God damn. Come on. $5,300. $51. So what is that? That's 5174. 5174. So this is now turned into resistance on the top side. So there's your resistance on the top side. Listen, you're in this wedge, right? There's your wedge. Banged on it. Banged on the wedge, right? Very nice. It's holding the wedge, unfortunately. And came down into this confluence area and still haven't gone low enough for this confluence area that I would like, but I mean, we're just ugly. All right, weekly, BBs, USD. Support broken. It's at 5174. But has not hit the lower trend line. All right, so it just hasn't hit this lower trend line right there. Okay, there we go, there's that. And then look at this. It's just a gem. Seriously, people, this is just like a freaking gem. Look, I'm not saying this looks the same, but I'm saying this kind of looks the same, right? Broke out over the top, right? So look at these areas. I said small break over the trend line. There it was. right? Small break over the trend line and then just dumped hard into it with this capitulation candle. Now, I just can't tell the difference. I can't tell if we're right here where this 7 MA is going to roll over on the 100 MA, and look at there, that's super ugly on the weekly, right? Or are we up here, right? I hope we're down here and we're just looking for this final dash to the bottom, right? Now look, there's my arrow. One of my arrows has gotten tapped, right? And I was looking for a bounce off. So I have to make this arrow a little bigger because you just can't see it like that. You just can't see that right there, right? It's hard to see that, but there's my 4,200. I will leave my 4,200 a little bit up there, but like we're below this trend line now, right? So we're below this trend line. There goes that trend line right there. Just got obliterated, so I'm going to take this one out. Okay, that trend line is now gone. This is my super deep trend line. Right, so I pulled this one off of there, off there. I think I can adjust this baby just a little bit. So what I did is I took this wick, right, ripped it through there, ripped it all the way through there. You could probably lower this baby a little. I don't think I need this way up here. Right, just like that. I'm gonna lock that in place, right? So this goes all the way back to here. Look, wick, 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 wick. Right? All those bodies, all those wicks, right? Wick, wick, came all the way up into there. And then this is where this baby, that's where that's coming to right there, 42-ish. This is bit stamp, right? So your bit stamp is looking right down there. So you're going to, right, try to do something like this, baby, right here. Okay, now listen, this we broke through this once. There's the first breakthrough. We come down, we test lower, and then we bounce out again, right? And now you could have possibly made a little trend line right here. We're blowing the trend line out though, so our trend line is kind of blown out right now. All right, we definitely kind of blew our trend line out, but there that is. Okay, daily is super close to looking for a double baby test. Weekly looking for the last hard down. That could be soon, and find the bottom. Okay, got it? Close to a coming bounce on the weekly and the daily. Yep, so this is correct. So we're getting really close to the weekly and the daily, and we're getting really close. Okay. So my thing is this trend line now, it's 5,200 becomes resistance. Right, so 5,200 becomes your resistance right now. So the resistance, so the is 5220. Yeah, like we'd all like to see. And then there is our weekly 200 MA. So we're going to put in here weekly. What's the stop loss for the trend line at 4,200? Oh, to long from there, to scalp from there. Yeah, I will be scalping from there. I'll definitely be scalping along from there. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm looking. We're close to a daily bounce, right? And I think what we're going to do is we're going to get this, right? Because we just did this or we just did this. See this dump right here? And I think we could get an up, right? And now it could, you're going to get a, it could be a 300 to 500 point up. It could be a good up, right? I mean, but I'm going to look for a substantial bounce. So like we're right now we're at 4,800. Even a bounce from 4,800 to 5,200 is a nice little bounce, right? That's a good little bounce on USD. That's not bad. That's a substantial little bounce. Don't run. Look them straight in the eyes and don't run. Yeah, don't run. So now this is Bitstamp. Yeah, so this is Bitstamp. So for the weekly, yeah, 41. Yep, so Darcy's got it. All right, everybody. So that's really all I've got. I'm going to leave you guys with this chart right here. Okay. So there's my kind of my must hold targets. There's our bottom targets. This tells this is a lot. Okay, this has a lot of information on here for you, okay? And I can, all right, but this is still where we're at, this is, all right. Oh God, boy, if that was wave one. All right, everybody, listen, I'm going to take a little bit of a breather here. I've probably been going for close to an hour, and I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and I'll check back in just a little while, okay? So, yeah, thank you all so much, man. I really, really, really appreciate you. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Doji. I appreciate everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's just watch out for that weekly. All right, so weekly candle. All right, I would like to say thank you to everyone, and for the Vamp and all of us at Until 1 Mil, I am out.